to my channel. Please like and subscribe. If you're new here, my name is Jennifer and I do Busilla kits and DIY projects. And this is a DIY tutorial today, and we'll be putting together this beautiful Christmas wreath under $10, and I'll show you step by step how I do that. And if you want to learn how to do that, please keep watching.
So I got these items at the dollar store, and they came in a whole different kinds of varieties, and I just kind of picked what I liked, and a few elements that I liked. And I got a couple of ornaments to put on there. I liked this one because it came with a clip, so I could just, put it on easy peasy. And it was about $4 at the dollar store. This bow I had, and this ribbon I already had, so I didn't have to buy those. This wreath I got on sale at Hobby Lobby for 50% off. Originally it was $9.99, and I paid $5 for it. So I had to grab some scissors, and it's preferable that you don't grab your crafting scissors. I didn't know I grabbed my crafting scissors until later, so just grab some scissors and take the tags off all of your items. And I started with the ribbon because that is the background, kind of the background that I wanted to go for. And I didn't, honestly, when I started this wreath, I could not find my hot glue gun anywhere. I just scoured my entire place and I could not find it. Otherwise, I would use hot glue. But I managed to actually make this entire wreath without hot glue. I'm pretty proud of myself because originally I was going to hot glue everything onto my wreath just so I had the security of it not moving around. But it ended up to where I really didn't need it. So, if you decide to use hot glue, that's totally cool. My project, I did not need to, so which kind of worked out for me. That way, I can take it all off and rearrange it for next year, or I can just keep it on and just buy one of those, what are they called, the little wreath holders that you can get at like Walmart. So I might end up doing that just because I like the way this wreath turned out. So just take your ribbon and maneuver it however you like. The rest of this ribbon I'm going to use for a bow. But for now, I'm just going to set it aside. I'm just kind of gauging how much I need. That'll be plenty. So I'm going to use both of those bows. I'm going to put the ornaments on, and I started with the clip. So just because it was the biggest one, and I want to make sure both of my ornaments are proportionate on the wreath. And I really loved this sleigh. It's super cute. It reminds me of my childhood. We used to have sleighs for all of my siblings on our tree, and we used to have all of our names and our birthdays on them. So that was kind of nostalgic for me. And it's super cute, and it matches kind of the theme of my wreath, which is kind of a red and poinsettias and nature, because I love nature. And these poinsettias are not as shiny as the other ones, and I preferred that because, in real life, poinsettias aren't shiny. These were definitely more realistic. So I just grabbed my scissors and just took each individual flower and placed them however I wanted. And I decided to grab another pair of scissors because I realized that I grabbed my crafting scissors on accident and I don't want to ruin them. So I grabbed some other scissors, and this particular clump had like a wire in it and I didn't realize it. So if I would have done it again, I would have grabbed some like wire cutters because they were a pain to cut. So anyway, I'm just grabbing all these poinsettias and some of the pine cones that I really liked and place them in where I want them. And I just wanted the pine cone on this one and another, like the berries. I liked the berries on this one. This one was a lot easier to handle because I just had to tear it off. And this one was cool because it came with like some wires on the end, so I was able to secure it down so I didn't have to worry about it falling out, which is what I liked. That was pretty cool. I'm glad I grabbed that one in particular. And I didn't use the poinsettias on this bunch because the poinsettias were shiny and they looked kind of plasticky and fake. So I was just like, no, I kind of want to go for a realistic look. So I ended up just using the berries and the poinsettias and the pine cones, and I liked how it turned out. Yeah, see, it was so hard to cut. Oh well, it turned out just fine. And you can rearrange anything however you want. This bow that I just had like in my Christmas bin, and I kept it all these years, and I finally found a home for it. So this one also had a tie on it. And the bow that I'm gonna make, I'm gonna show you how I make it. So that's what my wreath is going to look like, and we're gonna make the bow. For the bow, I cut off about, I'd have to say, 6 to 8 inches for the middle of the bow, and I took the rest of the ribbon and I kind of made an X, and then I grabbed the back to make kind of a bow. It was a little bit hard to maneuver, but I was able to maneuver it kind of how I wanted to do. So you just cross it in the front and then bring the back up, and then hold both sides with your fingers. And then what I did is I grabbed a piece of cotton thread that I just had. I have a stash of thread, and I just grabbed the cotton one because it was the most sturdy and it was the thinnest. So I was able to just form this bow quickly, and I know that it won't come apart. So I just go around and tie knots on each end until I'm satisfied. And grabbed a pair of scissors and trimmed off the excess after I maneuver this a little bit. Yeah, I just tied it one more time just for safe measure, and then I'm just gonna use my scissors to cut off the excess. And then the small piece of ribbon that I cut off, I'm going to actually tie around the middle to make it look like a bow. And you can maneuver it however you want. You can make it thicker, thinner, however you want. After forming your bow, take the 6 to 8 inch piece of ribbon and fold it in thirds. And we're going to wrap around the middle of the bow to complete the look. And you can wrap around it as many times as you like. I just did about 1.5 rounds just to give it some enough so I can work with it. If it's too short, it's hard to work with. So cut it off where you need to cut off. Make sure it looks the way you want it to look. And if you hear popping noises in the background, my neighbors are setting off fireworks for New Year's, so that's what that noise is. And what I decided to do is grab my needle and thread and sew my middle piece on. You can easily use hot glue. Again, I could not find my hot glue gun, or else I would have used hot glue. But this is a good alternative too. Plus I had the needle and thread right there, so I might as well just use it. And I decided to use black because it will hide better and you won't be able to see it. So I just did a simple whip stitch to close the gap, and I did fold in the cutted edge so it's a clean edge. It just looks nicer that way. It's been so long since I've actually made a bow from ribbon that I had to look it up on how to do it because it's been so long. But it's like riding a bike. Once you remember how to do the steps, then you can do it. And there's multiple ways you can make bows, and I'm sure there's tons of videos out there on YouTube to show you how to make a bow by hand, and there's some wonderful tutorials on different layered bows. So this is just a single bow. You can add multiple bows on top of each other to make one giant Christmas bow, however you want to do it. I'm definitely not a bow expert. I just wanted to keep it nice and simple, but there are different types of bows that you can make and use, and tons of beautiful ribbon to choose from. Just make sure that the ribbon that you use has a wire inside it, because it's a lot easier to maneuver. And there's my finished bow. Of course, after putting my bow together, I realized, hey, how am I going to attach it without hot glue? So I grabbed my trusty chopstick and created a kind of an opening for my Chanel stick, or pipe cleaner, as it were, crafting pipe cleaner, and use the pipe cleaner as a way to attach my bow onto my wreath. I love my chopstick stuff. I use my chopstick for tons of crafts, and I just found a new one. So if you make a bow and you're like, oh shoot, I forgot to put something to attach my bow onto something, just grab a chopstick and create an opening for, a pipe cleaner. It worked well for me. So I'm just tying it to the back, making sure it's nice and secure, and that is my finished wreath. I'm so glad it turned out so well. Okay, so I realized that
towards the end. I didn't quite show you the entire wreath. So I actually want to show you what the whole thing looks like from top to bottom. There's the top, and there's the bottom. And I highly recommend getting ribbon with wire so you can, you know, maneuver the bottoms if you want. Some people like to cut them a specific way. You can honestly do however you liked it. I just like the raw edge look, kind of a rustic look. I also wanted to take this opportunity to thank those that have donated to my GoFundMe for my embroidery business. If you don't know what that is, the link is in the description box below. Click on it and read my little bio that I have in there and get to know me a little bit and my business ideas. I'm also looking into reapplying for the Amazon affiliate program. Hopefully that will happen soon. Check in the description box below for any links to support my channel. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe to my channel. I do wonderful Busilla kits and DIY projects, and I hope everybody had a wonderful holiday and a fabulous New Year's. I'm so excited for the year 2020. I have tons of things planned for 2020, a bunch of Busilla kits to put together, and several requests. So I'm hoping to start off the new year with a bang. So if you haven't yet, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next year. Bye. Blah. So if you want to